Super Bowl or your Utah Jazz, PK? What would you like to talk about?
Jazz, in my mind, are and probably will always be. We'll have to say, can't say always for sure, but certainly the time that we've been doing it, they are the number one story. And they are the story that draws the most people in. And that's the whole point. So you can't go wrong talking Jazz, which is why we obsess over everything with the Jazz. And I got to say, man, the thing that I took away from the game the other night with Jaren Jackson Jr. is that Conchar guy, the sleeve of tats. Yeah, he's a BA.
That's convinced you, huh?
Yeah, I had no clue who he was. He's BA. Yeah, sleeve of tats coming out there looking like that. That guy's nasty. I wouldn't like to get no bar brawl with that guy. Let me tell you.
Willing to discuss 50 wins next year now? I know we were having all these topics about 40, 45, but we didn't know the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade was coming. Now that we know it's there, they're spending the money, and we'll see what they do with Kessler. So you can't make any definitive pronouncements, or at least definitive predictions. Like predictions are definitive, but you know what I'm getting at. Until we know their roster and everybody else's roster, but they're going to spend a lot of money next year. And the young guys are all going to have another year of experience, and they are bringing in a high-end, and they have brought in a high-end guy in Jaren Jackson Jr. So if you got two guys making $50 million each, ballpark, Lowry might be a mill or two underneath that, but ballpark $50 million each, it seems like it's time to talk 50 wins.
Well, there's two things that I want to see is obviously where the draft pick ends up, and then, of course, who they draft, and then what they do at the rim protector spot. And if it's Kessler, and I would love to have Kessler back. If it were me, I would say you've been in this program now for a good while. You understand what we're about. You apparently like it. You cut commercials, blah, blah, blah. You're very comfortable. Here's the financial situation. You're going to be able to buy whatever you want for the rest of your life, children and so forth. So, don't mess with a good situation. And that's sort of the outside advice I would give him too. And your skill set is something that we need. And you're going to have an opportunity to succeed here. So I would like him, but if it's not him, it's got to be somebody like him. Obviously, you need a rim protector, and they can't have what they have now, which opponents have an absolute lack of fear of driving to the basket. We used to watch Gobert for all those years, and it was fun to see if a guard or perimeter player turned the corner, and even if he didn't look up, he knew without looking, oh, well, there's this draft kind of guy right there who's really good. So I'm probably not going to challenge him. You see it, and it's something that it's hard to see and acknowledge unless you're watching all the games, which we do, and you're watching start to finish, and you can see that's the type of defensive presence that they need. Because if they don't have that, then that's like everybody's loose then. It's like going to the free throw line with zero pressure. Yeah, you're going to probably make 80%. It's the pressure. And without having the rim protecting presence, everybody's more loose. They're looser. They understand that, hey, man, we can have a big game against these guys. So get him in there. And if that's the case, if they got Kessler or somebody like him, I'm just going to go on the assumption that he resigns until we see or hear otherwise. I have no problem with these expectations. With those expectations comes accountability. We had just Steve Cleveland on, and he's talking about accountability, and you got to be held to a standard, and that's the way it needs to be. In order to achieve a standard, you have to be held to a standard. I don't think you can kind of backdoor it or get it by surprise. So absolutely, let's get through these last 3 dozen plus games and get rid of this stuff and get on with it. We have to wait until the season runs through its course and get back. But expectations go up much higher. There's no doubt about it. I can't say I was pleasantly surprised by Jaren Jackson because I wasn't. He didn't do anything the other night that shocked me. He's a player, man. He's been a player in this league, right? He was a player in his season at Michigan State, I think it was, right? And so he comes in, and he's got a lot of skill. And yes, I expect him to do maybe minimally what he did the other night. Now, if they were playing to win, obviously those stats would have been higher because he would have been on the floor for at least half of the fourth quarter and go to him. He's going to open up everything. I think the guy that stands to benefit the most is marketing, because Jaren Jackson is going to just demands so much attention defensively. And Markkanen, for a 7-footer, he shoots as well as anybody. He doesn't have maybe the acrobatic nature of a Dirk Nowitzki with that insane off the back, opposite foot fallback that he would do. But in terms of pure shooting, Markkanen is right there. Highly skilled guy. And if Jackson, we got to see how he passes the ball back out after it comes in. There's an opportunity to get a whole lot of wide open shots. And Markkanen will succeed in that situation. There's no doubt about it. Beginning very quick release. If he's got time to line it up, it's money. It is gold. And with that in mind, that just adds to get defensive pressure, get them better on the other end. And this team, I'm expecting them to make a strong playoff push. Somehow we've differentiated the top 6 from the 7 and 10 with this play-in. And so I'll go there. I'm looking for this team to be in the 6th place next year.
I think your point about the 22 points is nothing special. Ironically, it's literally what he averaged last year and what he averaged the year before that. So, if anything, the fact he did it in 25 minutes, I guess, would raise the eyebrow. And it is going to be a pick your poison thing as far as, if you sell out to defend one guy, another guy's going to go off. I mean, coaches love to use the word gravity. I think Will Hardy actually used it in the postgame. And so Keontae George can score. Lauri Markkanen can score. Now Jackson can score. Man, when you have 3 scorers out there, which I assume is how the finish games, obviously they'll be rotating and not playing a lot of minutes together. They'll be playing some. But I would expect them to finish games together. So for those last 5 to 8 minutes, whatever it is, however they set up the rotation, they're going to have 3 guys who can really score, and that'll put a lot of pressure on teams. And then to your point, if you can run 3 7-footers out there at the end of the game, assuming Kessler or there's someone like him on the roster, that's going to take up a lot of space. How good will they be rebounding? I mean, here's 7-footers, but I don't think a Markkanen or Jackson is great rebounders, but maybe that's something they can accentuate, and as a group they can be really good. So I like your goal of top 6. I think there's a couple reasons. One, we've done it because there used to be 8 playoff teams. Now we got the play-in. So number one, you avoid the play-in. But realistically, 7 and 8 seeds don't win playoff series very often. And when they do, they usually go out in the next round. So then, you get up to 6. Okay, you're a more serious threat to advance a round or 2 here. And for the Jazz, it's been a long time since they won back-to-back playoff series and went to a conference final. We're coming up on 20 years. But let's see what kind of roster they put together and see what everyone else in the West puts together. A top 6 sitting here right now as a goal sounds good. Maybe we'll tweak that going forward, but I like the way that sounds right now. 50
I
wins,
think top 6 to me is a nice standard. And let's see, they still have draft and other options to improve the ball club, which I assume that they will. And the thing that I expect from Jackson now is you look at the Memphis situation the last couple of years, Ja Morant in and out of the lineup and all that stuff. There seemed to be a lot of drama, stuff that gets in the way of winning. And I don't see that here. I just don't see what they're going to have that creates a disturbance and an obstacle to win, and a distraction is the word that they use, that they like to use. And so here you can come in and focus on ball. That's your job, right? That's what you should be focused on. So all the other stuff should be out the window. So I can argue Jackson has put up some good numbers and all that stuff and made the All-Star team, defensive player, but I can argue we have not yet seen the best of Jaren Jackson. Yet we definitely will over the next 3 to 5 years. And with Markkanen there on board and George continues his growth and obviously Ace Bailey is going to have internal improvement. There's no question about it. That's a guarantee. I see no reason not to be excited. Yeah, I'm hoping that Bonneville now signs me to an 8-year contract. That's how excited I am.